Welcome to our 15th lesson in integrated science. I hope you're doing well. All right, we are finally heading towards the concluding part of the topic, photosynthesis. And I believe that you have been able to follow along faithfully the lesson from the beginning. If you have missed any part of this lesson, do your best to refer to the dates on your timetable, using your timetable as a guide, and get the lessons and observe them. Yes, today we are looking at the importance of photosynthesis. Now, before we start today's lesson, let us quickly make a preview of what we learned in lesson 14. In lesson 14, we looked at an experiment to determine or show that sunlight is necessary for photosynthesis. In fact, the main factors of photosynthesis are sunlight and chlorophyll. The other ones, water and carbon dioxide, are the raw materials that we need for photosynthesis in plants. So in this experiment, we actually, first of all, de-starched the leaf while attached to the potted plants for about 2 days in the dark. We did this so that the starch, there will not be any starch in the leaf to start with. Then later, we pick one of the leaf while still attached to the plants and covered part of the leaf with black paper and clip it. We then exposed the potted plant to sunlight for about 3 hours to make sure photosynthesis takes place. Now, later we plucked the leaf and went through the steps taken to test for starch by first boiling a leaf to kill the cells, later warming it in alcohol to remove the chlorophyll, wash it in cold water to soften it, and later we release some few drops of iodine solution, which you know is brownish yellow in color, on both parts exposed to sunlight and parts covered with the black paper. Remember, the black paper should be removed before the testing of starch. So we observed that areas exposed to sunlight are not covered with a black paper, turn blue-black, but the area covered with the black paper did not change color. In other words, the iodine solution did not change color. We concluded that indeed sunlight is necessary for photosynthesis. So that's about the previous lesson. In today's lesson, we'd like to identify the importance of photosynthesis to plants and animals. Now, generally, we know carbon dioxide is used during photosynthesis as a raw material to produce glucose as one of the first products of photosynthesis. The byproduct or the waste product is oxygen, which is released into the atmosphere. So we are now going to delve into the importance of this process to both plants and animals. Before we start, can you brainstorm and identify some importance of this process to plants and animals? All right, now let's take the oxygen, which is released as a byproduct of photosynthesis. Is oxygen really important to both plants and animals? Yes. And which process makes use of oxygen by both plants and animals? You are right, it's respiration. If that is the case, then let's identify the first importance of photosynthesis to plants and animals. Good. So the first one, you are saying that oxygen as a byproduct of photosynthesis is used for respiration by both plants and animals. So let's take note of that. Now let's move on to the second one. In the definition of photosynthesis, one of the key expressions is that photosynthesis is a process by which plants produce their own food. So that means without photosynthesis, plants will not be able to produce their own food. And they will not be able to carry out some biological processes or metabolic activities, such as respiration, reproduction, growth, sensitivity, excretion, and the like. So let's identify the second one. All right, we are saying that plants are able to make and use their own food for metabolic activities, such as respiration, reproduction, growth, and the like. That means these life processes that we just mentioned would not be possible in plants if they fail to make their own food. Now let's move on to the third importance. You know global warming? Very good. Global warming is the increase in the Earth's temperature as a result of effects of greenhouse. And what is greenhouse? Greenhouse effect occurs when gases such as carbon dioxide traps heat from escaping the Earth's surface. And the heat that is trapped on the Earth's surface begins to increase the temperature of the Earth. And that leads to what we call global warming. That means if there's no excess carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, there will not be any case or any cause to worry about global warming. So what role does photosynthesis play in reducing global warming? Very good. We said that one of the raw materials for photosynthesis is carbon dioxide. Plants require carbon dioxide for photosynthesis. If that is true, then we are saying that, number 3, by using carbon dioxide for photosynthesis, plants help to purify the atmosphere, resulting or thereby reducing the risk of global warming. I hope the point is clear. All right. You know, animals are heterotrophic. In other words, they cannot produce their own food. So what is the importance of photosynthesis to these animals? Number 4, we are saying that through photosynthesis, animals obtain food directly or indirectly from plants. Agree? All right. Which animals obtain food from plants directly? Can you mention the group of animals that do so? Yes, they are called herbivores or omnivores. Now, what about those that obtain food indirectly? Good, they are carnivores or omnivores. Now, indirectly in the sense that they feed on animals that feed indirectly on plants are a group of animals that feed on other animals that feed directly on plants. So lion does not eat plants directly. does so by eating an antelope that eats the plants. So in effect, the lion eats the plant indirectly. I hope the point is clear. So these are the four major importance of photosynthesis to plants and animals. And you're expected to fully grasp this importance for any future questions or examination. All right, my dear learners, we are bringing an end to this lesson with a quick reminder of our next topic, circulatory systems of humans. Circulatory systems of humans. This is an extension of the topic diffusion and osmosis. That's transport system of fluid. So do your best to start reading around the topic circulatory systems of humans. Now there's a little change in the way you see your assignments on the internet page. Previously, the assignment is detached or separated from the lesson, but now it has been combined with the lesson. So in order to do the assignment, you need to observe or watch the lesson and do the assignment and upload it as usual. And what is assignment? For assignment number 15, first question, what is photosynthesis? So define photosynthesis. Number 2, outline or state 4 importance of photosynthesis to plants and animals, using your own words as much as possible. I don't want the situation where you copy verbatim or word for word the importance of photosynthesis that I've covered in the lesson. At least you can use your own words in some part of the synthesis to prove your understanding. I hope you are clear with that. Now, for some time now, your scores have not been uploaded, and I promise by the close of this weekend, all previous assignments, including this one, will mark and the scores will be uploaded onto the scoreboard for you to check, hopefully by close of this weekend. All right. I thank you for your patience. Make sure you keep on studying hard. I hope to see you again in our next lesson. Bye-bye.